Johnny, one of your fans asked you a question.
Yeah.
How to raise a child?
How to raise a child?
Yes, like
So
what's the secret? Be like for Jewish people raise their child.
They want to know the big secret.
Yes.
Okay. I'll tell the big secret.
Okay.
Everybody needs to come very close to their phone.
Okay.
All right. This is the biggest secret that every Jew knows, but no one else knows apparently. Right?
So what's the secret?
All right. The secret to parenting, right, your kids, is that you're not parenting your kids. You're parenting your kids to raise grandkids.
So you parenting your child how to be a good parent.
Pretty much. You are parenting for your grandkids. You're not parenting for your kids. So I'll break it down. Let's break it down here. You're parenting your kids to be good adults to raise good kids. That is the secret.
I see that.
That is how you should be looking at it, right? You are focusing on your grandkids because your grandkids are the ones who are going to be raised by your kids, right? And that's the third generation. Usually people don't see too far beyond the third generation. Usually you pass away or something. So that's the result of your handiwork. So you need to think about it when you're parenting, when you're raising your kids, right? That you're raising your grandkids because they're the ones going to be raised by your kids, right? So if you're terrible to your kids, raise them terribly, your grandkids are going to end up terrible too, right? What's that Chinese saying? Third generation gone rich, right?
Yes.
That's because they're not raising their kids. They're not raising correctly. They're not understanding that it's their grandkids that is the result of what they're doing. Because that's the broken line. So Jewish people understood this long, long ago. We understand that on the third line, your family tree is either going to live or die. Right? You're either going to continue on or you're going to be gone.
Yeah.
Why do you think so many parents these days, like my generation, barely having kids? Like in the West, many people complain the West not having kids.
Same thing like China. Same thing in China, like the younger generation.
I focus on the West because I know more about the West than I would want to comment on China. Yeah. So many Western kids are not having kids because their parents didn't really raise them. Their mother went to work, their father went to work. No one was there to raise them. So they had babysitters, schools, and other people raise them, right? So do you think they care about the next generation? They don't. As a mother and father, you care about the next generation going forward. So the biggest secret is when you're raising your kid, understand that it's your grandkids that are going to get the result of your parenting. That's the secret.
I totally see the point now because that's why when I'm in like the synagogue with hang out with all the other Jews, I see Jewish men and women. They have much less number, or there is, but it's such a small number on mama boy or mama girl.
Yeah, it's very rare.
Yes, the majority there they can be independent, make their mind, and make a decision on their own. Their parents have much less influence on their life. So, and lots actually Jewish women, it's okay to like raising their kids to like not go to work.
Yes.
So like they Jewish people actually respect the homestay mother so much. I feel like the moment you turn to a mother, you work in, every people say, let the mother go first. Okay, this is our mothers, our proud mothers.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? Every rabbi would tell you it's the mothers that will continue on, because usually the man goes to work. Like we're talking thousands of years, even today. Usually, the man goes to work, right?
Yes.
So it's the mothers who are the one implanting the ideas, implanting the morals and ethics, right? The father figure is more of a role model, right? They're going to see how a man should be, right? But the morals and ethics and the culture is implanted by the mother. So when we talk about the secret of parenting, it's understanding that the result is your grandkids. And if you don't have grandkids by the time your kids get very old, then that's your result. That was your parenting. Because that means you parent them to have nothing. No more generation going on, right?
Yes.
Unfortunately, this is it. So if you have kids that start to be involved, start to understand that you are the one teaching them to be adults, to raise kids. That is the line. And once you understand the line, that is the secret, because then you start to understand going, how I treat my daughter and son is how they're going to treat their daughter and son. And then so on and so on, right? That life lesson goes on. That's why many like criminal families, right? Their kids end up being criminals. Why? Because that's what they taught. So it goes down the line. Unless the kid is strong enough to break that. Happens, right? Sometimes happens, sometimes it doesn't. So it's just one of those things. That is the secret. I hope everybody was close enough to hear it. But there is no secret. Honestly, every family dynamic, every family household is so individual. It's like an individual entity, right? What might work for us might not work for other people. And what might work for other people might not work for us. It all depends on your situation, how you handle it. Can you balance your household to raise the kids? Because a chaotic household will raise chaotic kids, which will raise chaotic grandkids, if you even get any, because you're throwing the dice, right? By that point, because you have no control of what your kids do.
Yes.
So it comes down to, can you get in control, install the morals and ethics and values into your kids so they're able to pass that along. Secret done.
Hope everyone gets a secret.
I hope so. I hope it goes straight up here.